This month, the financial titan Merrill Lynch is 100 years old. You know, it's no longer an independent company. There was crushing debt from mortgage-backed securities on its books, a collapsing stock price. Merrill Lynch was bought by the Bank of America in the midst of the financial crisis recently, but it's still the world's largest brokerage. With its long history, there's quite a story to tell, and it is told in the new book, Catching Lightning in a Bottle, How Merrill Lynch Revolutionized the Financial World. Winthrop H. Smith, Jr. is the teller of that tale, and you're a former Merrill chairman for International and son of the founders, or one of the founders. So beyond this turmoil I just mentioned, what are the important components of that larger story of the company?
Well, thank you, Bill. You know, Merrill Lynch certainly is known as the firm that brought Wall Street to Main Street, the inventor of CMA, a major investment banking firm. But what my book tells is how Merrill Lynch became successful. And it was by following a set of values and principles throughout its history that really guided it through the good times and the bad times. And unfortunately, the next to last CEO didn't understand the history, threw those values away. And in my opinion, that's what led to the problems of 2007 and 8.
Okay, lost its way, changed values. If you were in charge, still in the 2000s, what would you have done?
Well, what I would not have done after 2001 is I would not have cut as much of the core businesses as were cut. I would not have cut back the international business, the investment banking business, the private client business, and therefore I wouldn't have had to have jumped into those highly toxic assets of subprime mortgages and CDOs, and I would not have levered the balance sheet to 35-1.
What about this history? Give me some interesting tales, such as the relationship between your dad and Charlie Merrill.
Well, my dad actually spent 10 years in Chicago with E.A. Pierce, which is a firm that Charlie Merrill had essentially sold to in the 1930s. And in 1939, he convinced Charlie Merrill to come into the business, get out of the grocery business, come back into the securities business, and come up with a new model of bringing Wall Street to Main Street, of taking the conflict of interest out of brokerage, about separating research, about training brokers, about educating the public. And it was really a revolutionary concept in 1939 and 1940.
And people forget that it was Merrill Lynch who basically did that. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Bill.